What's up? What's good? What is happening? Welcome to the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. I am one half of the amazing duo, the actual King Smith, and checking in over here is my main man, Coach. Coach, what do you say to the people? Well, if you are talking, we cannot hear you,
What do
but
you
I'm
hear?
assuming.
What do you say, my man? How y'all doing this evening? Let's crack open a cold one. And as you can see, I am hyped up for the football season. Why?
We can't hear the audio.
Jets, Jets, Jets.
Here we go.
Damn right. Let's crack one open. NFL has started, baby. Woo!
We are here. NFL Week 1 has started, and it started with last year's Super Bowl champions Chiefs getting down by the Lions. Did you see that coming?
I saw that on Thursday. Did not see that win coming, but man, Dan Campbell is a man of my own heart. That guy is a damn good coach. And man, it's kind of nice when Patrick Mahomes led the league in interceptions, led the league in losses. Couldn't. And by the way, what the hell is he doing throwing to Kadarius Toney? Every New York Giants fan knows that Kadarius Toney can't catch. Yet the Kansas City Chiefs actually think that they can get him to catch again. No, he can't. Kadarius Toney is terrible. In the words of Charles Barkley, in the words of another Roll Tide alumni. By the way, how are those Roll Tides going?
Before I even answer that, because we're going to talk about that later on. I hate you. We got Pop Culture Warrior checking in. He's one of the amazing hosts here at WTF Nation Radio. I am filming and doing this live stream from his studio. So if you are a WTF Nation Radio listener and viewer, you are aware of this location. His G-men are about to kick off here in just under 7 minutes against the Dallas Cowboys. They are playing at New York. He's got his jersey. His whole family's rocking Giants. Like, I walked into this house and I felt bad. I felt sad. I was uncomfortable with all of the Giants gear that I walked into when I got into his house. But I do want to thank CQ of Pop Culture Warrior for allowing me to use his studio, even though I spanked his ass in 2 fantasy football leagues, one of which is our WTF Nation Radio Listeners League. And we're going to show that and talk about that a little bit later on. But before we do, let's acknowledge the people that have came in and commented early on. And then we are going to talk about our show and what we are going to get into today. So we got Ivan Levin checking in over on Facebook with the American flag. I appreciate you. Captain Wayne Baconator is in the building. I'll give you a salute as well. We got my Boothang Michelle early over on Facebook. Hey, Boothang, I appreciate you tuning in. We got Susie Martin from Madisonville, Tennessee checking in. I appreciate all of our listeners and viewers wherever they check in from in Madisonville, Tennessee. That's what I'm talking about. Salute. We got my main man, DC, David Cunningham, checking in and said, what it do? Hey, David, if you can, man, I know you like to keep up with the scores and the updates. As I'm doing the show, I got games and stuff over here, but I want to be able to give y'all my attention. So if you can help me out with the scores of this Giants Cowboys game, I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure with CQ being right over there, that way, one of these directions, if he's excited and he's jumping up and down, woo! I know that the Giants are winning. If he's cussing in the background, I'm pretty sure that his G-men are losing. We got Charles in the building. Hey, Charles, I need to find a way. To display that beautiful, beautiful gift that you made. And I'm going to figure out a way how to do it by next show. You can count me in on that. So thank you. Go Chiefs. Hey, you know what? I appreciate you rocking and riding with your team. Absolutely. We got a couple of more here. Charles said that CQ is awesome. I can sometimes agree with that. Most of the times disagree with that. Woo! Richard Branco is in the building. I've been seeing your posts and your stuff about your racing, man. It'd be cool if you had some videos so I could check that out. David Cunningham said, my Steelers got stomped by the Niners like the easiest streets that you can walk on. Yes, they did. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. And he said that he's got me with the score. Thank you. And Coco, Ravens Nation, y'all see the colors. You see the colors. Ravens Nation, baby. We had a key injury that's going to suck. J.K. Dobbins just can't stay on the field. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later on as well. Taking a look at the analyst predictions, we have 3 out of the 5 so far have said they got the Dallas Cowboys winning. I always go with whoever Tony Romo picks. And Tony Romo picked the Dallas Cowboys. Other analysts and people are coming in. There's 2 people for the Giants so far, so it's 3 out of 5. All right, but we're definitely going to check in on that. Richard says that he's the one behind the
Tony
camera
Dungy,
at the moment.
buddy. That ain't Tony Romo.
Oh, that was Dungy with that prediction? Hey,
Yeah,
thanks
buddy.
for letting me know. I still ride with Tony Romo though. Whoever he picks, that's who I put my money on. And let's see, Team X-Men. That's right. That's right.
Hey, real fast, can I out? Do you notice who the new person is over there in the on the table at for Sunday Night Football? That's my man, St. Joe's Regional alumni, former Patriot, Veer Fidelis, my man, Devin McCourty. Him and his brother Jason. Oh, yeah. Good guys.
Yep.
Real good
Them
guys.
McCourty boys. All right. Now, before we get into our show, we got to get a couple of things out the way. We're streaming across multiple platforms. All right. YouTube, Facebook, X, Kick, and that's all of them. YouTube, Facebook, X, and Kick. If there's a like button to be hit, do us a favor. Hit that like button. That's all I ask. And comment. And watch the show. And cheer. And all that other good stuff. But please, hit that like button if there is a like button. Share this stuff as this helps us out. And let's get the marketing, boring stuff out the way so that we can get into our show. Coach, we have other shows here at WTF Nation Radio. It's not just us on Sundays. In under 90 seconds, can you give the listeners and viewers out there what all shows we have on WTF Nation Radio? Go.
You got the clock? You got the clock ready?
Clock is ready.
All right, let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you live 6 nights a week on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio across Facebook, X, YouTube, and Kick. So we kick it off every Sunday with the Sports Bar with myself and King. Monday edition with Ice and hold on, it's not Mad Mike anymore. It is not what's his name? I forget who it is, but we're bringing to you all about what's going on in the military. Tuesday, Pop Culture Warrior with the one, the only, the man who King is actually broadcasting from his deep dark dungeon basement. CQ with Mad Mike, bringing to you the best in pop culture warrior, in pop culture of what's happening in the world of pop culture. And on Wednesdays, we have my man Radar and my girl TZ bringing it to you live on the Smoke Pit. Just a great bullshit session and absolutely loving a show that is absolutely about nothing but enthralling. On Thursday, we have Ice and a returning Spanky. She is back for Sergeant's Time, where we talk to you about everything that's going on in the military. And because I do not get paid this week, and because it's been 2 weeks since he was last on, guess who's back? Back again. Yep, that's Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and hopefully Pookie. I'm pretty sure his siesta is finally over. He's finally back over at MB, but he'll be coming to you all Friday night, and that's all at 8 o'clock. Coming to you on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio on Facebook, Twitter, now it's actually called X, gonna give it to you, as well as YouTube and Kick. Back to you, King.
Man, I'm going to show you. You see if y'all can see that. I think y'all can see that clearly. Well done, my man.
Usually it takes like 5 minutes because I'm bullshitting through it all, but there we go. 90 seconds. I can do it.
All right.
Hey, you know what else is going to be over in 90 seconds? the
What's that?
frickin' football game because the damn Giants are going to smoke the crap out of the Cowboys. And bump
Hey,
that.
oh man.
The best part of Sunday Night Football is happening right now for you Cowboys fans because you get to go ahead and see Carrie Underwood in that dress. My God Almighty, that girl is beautiful.
Hey-o.
Oh, those legs. Woo!
Captain Wayne Baconator Adjutant said that Spankinator is missed. Absolutely. Spankinator is definitely missed. All right. So we're going to give y'all some sports trivia today. We're going to talk about the team president who kissed his player following their win and what happened with the update. We do have some breaking news that occurred right before the show that we're going to bring up and talk about as well. We also have Coco Gauff and what she had accomplished here very recently and other interesting tennis news. And we're going to get into the NCAA and NFL football action as well. We might cover some Major League Baseball stuff. I'm going to share a bet that could pay off big. And then throughout the show, we're going to cover our WTF Nation Radio fantasy football updates. Now, let's get into the sports trivia. Coach, and everybody out there listening, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to repeat the question while I put it up on the screen. And then I am going to give a 30-second countdown to give people the opportunity to type the answer into the chat. All right? So, our sports trivia question for today, being that it is in the NFL, we had a record, it wasn't a record setting actually, but a high amount of rookie quarterbacks that started week one. And it got me to thinking, and I was curious. Have there been any other NFL teams that have never started a rookie quarterback in week one? Well, there has been a team that has fit that criteria. If y'all do know, how many teams have never started a rookie QB week one, and can you name the team? The question is up on the screen. Coach has already put his in. I am going to start the timer, and I will be right back. All right, I didn't realize that the question was going to go away when I played the countdown video. But again, that question was, how many teams have never started a rookie QB week one? This year we had 3. CJ Stroud of the Houston Texans, Anthony Richardson of the Colts, and I am blanking on the third one. CQ, who was the third rookie quarterback? Who? Bryce Young. Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers. 3 rookie quarterbacks that started week one. All right. But how many teams have never started a rookie QB week one? And can you name them? All right. We got some answers in the chat. We got the Chiefs. And Heath Barlow says Tampa and Detroit, which Tampa was one that I thought could have fit that description too. But I can tell you right now that is not the case.
Jameis Winston started for them week one when he was drafted.
As a rookie? Yes. That's right. Yep.
And he promptly threw an interception, just like the rest of his career.
David Cunningham is correct. I'm just going to say ding, ding, ding. It is indeed 3 teams. All right. Can you name the 3 teams, David Cunningham? That's good.
King, in the private chat, I get any of them?
You guessed 2 teams, and you are incorrect.
Oh, damn.
All right. So David Cunningham said the Giants, Kansas City, and he didn't list the third. He might be typing it out. So I'm going to display the answer here. Hey, if we're gonna count Al Bundy, yes, most definitely.
4 touchdowns in one
Uh,
game.
all right, so David Cunningham had it right. Didn't get it within the timer, but this time I'm going to make an exception because I know it takes time to like type that stuff out. If you would have put the number in, David, I would have given it to you. Because in 30 seconds, you could have at least gone, ooh, it's three, and at least put the number in. But yes, you have the correct number and the correct teams. These
Damn.
three teams have never started a rookie quarterback week one: the Vikings, the Giants, and the Chiefs.
And
So
you know what? And you know what? I was gonna say Giants, but what threw me off was if I'm remembering correctly, I think Kurt Warner actually started the game that Eli Manning got his first game in and got like
yes.
tattooed by Philly. So I was thinking the Giants were one of them, were one of them, but then yeah, that messed me up. And I'm surprised that Dante Culpepper didn't start for his rookie season because I remember him finishing the season as a rookie when he came out of Tulane. Or wait,
Mm-hmm.
no, USF, excuse me, not Tulane.
Yep. Now there were several teams that had rookies that eventually either finished the season or whatnot, but week one, you are correct. Unrelated, the question that I was going to ask actually had to do with a very kind of similar, and it spoke to the fact that Kurt Warner is one of six quarterbacks that have made three consecutive week one starts for three different teams in consecutive years. So, like Baker Mayfield started
Mm-hmm.
week one with the Browns, started week one the following year with the Panthers, and made a week one start this year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kurt Warner was another one of the quarterbacks, and there were four others. One was Brett Favre. Coach, real quick, can you name any other quarterback that made three consecutive week one starts for three different teams?
No, Favre was going to be my guess because he did that with Green Bay, the Jets, and the Minnesota, and then Kurt Warner did that with the Rams, the St. Louis or Rams, the Giants, and I think it was Arizona, if I'm correct.
Yep, correct.
I don't think Fitzpatrick did that because I know he was a one and done with the Jets because you got to get one of those people that are a one and done quarterback in the year. Kirk Cousins was only on two teams. Nah, fuck, man. Excuse my language. Yeah, no, I'm kind of out of it, man. I don't know. I don't know exactly who it is, man. Man, you stumped me this week. Outstanding.
I'll give you one more. It was Jim Harbaugh. I mean, not Harbaugh.
Ah,
God dang it. Kurt Warner,
Kurt Warner, Brett Favre.
Brett Favre,
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield. Man,
What about McMahon?
it wasn't McMahon.
Ah,
I had it up earlier,
Everett?
and
No,
it
no.
wasn't Everett.
How long ago? What years are we looking at?
They were all fairly recent. I want to say Harbaugh. Yeah, I think it was Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh, I remember when he was on the Colts, and then I remember he left the Colts after one season, so I don't remember that one. Yeah, and then Neil O'Donnell, I'm not even gonna get started. Then Johnny Manziel, my ass. Yeah, that ain't happening on that one. But I honestly really don't know. Oh wow, what about Chad Henne?
It wasn't Chad Henne.
Because yeah,
That that's
yeah.
going to bug me because I had it up on the screen and it is going to bug me. But we have somebody that's going to look it up and we're going to come back. I don't think that it was Manziel either, but we are going
No,
to come back to that.
I don't think the Manziel was in the league for 3 years.
All right. So while we have our research department look that up, let's go into fantasy football news. Choo, 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 choo. Let me throw that up on the screen. WTF Nation Radio, fantasy football. All right. So, as y'all know, We started a fantasy football here at the Sports Bar on WTF Nation Radio. I played Pop Culture Warrior Week 1, and look at this glorious, glorious score. If we go around the league here, let's take a look at the rest of the updates as well. Essions looks like they're going to pull out the win against Tim
brother.
Hinkle. I'm sorry, the
Brother,
opposite way around.
you're killing me on the pronunciation, and every combat engineer is going to be killing me on this pronunciation. A
How do you say it?
seance, a seance, a seance.
What's in a seance?
A seance is the I got no idea exactly what it
Donovan
is,
McNabb.
but I know it has to do with the combat engineers, and if we mispronounce it, then their little fragile feelings are going to get hurt. So
Combat
it's a
engineers.
seance. Yes, combat engineers.
Don't come for our throat. It was Donovan McNabb. He was one of the 6 quarterbacks that made 3 consecutive week 1 starts.
Okay, so Philly. Then he was on. Washington one year.
Philly, Commanders, Vikings.
Oh, the Vikings. Okay, okay. Wow.
Yep.
All right.
And I think Harbaugh was one, but I'll look that up later. I'm going to bring that back and put it up on the Sports Bar's Facebook page. So if you follow that, check it out there. If you don't follow it, go follow the Sports Bar's Facebook page. Something that you should remind me to do, Coach, is in the description, I should put a link to all of the different pages because we have different viewers on different platforms. But I want to have a link to all of the different pages that we stream and post content on.
I got
I'm going to charge you to do that.
Yeah,
all right.
I got you on that, man. When I do the share of our live on our Sports Bar page, I'll tag U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio as well. We already tagged the Warhorse people, so we're good on that one.
Yep. Moving through, there was somebody that joined by the name of Danica Sledge, whose team name is Annika. They didn't make the necessary updates to their team, so I put them on auto because they and I made the announcement. Alvin Kamara suspended for the first 3 or 4 games, and they had them in their active running back position. So Danica, if you're out there watching and listening, you can go in and take yourself off auto, but we need you in there and managing your team. She's still gonna look. She might pull off the win against Mad Mike, which is sad.
Yeah,
sad. She has Brees Hall left to play, and with 2 goose eggs, one being her tight end and one being a guy who's even suspended, Mad Mike still could lose this game if Brees Hall does play and goes off. That's interesting. All Brees Hall needs is one touchdown.
And I am pulling for Brees Hall to go off right now because that's my team. That's the Jets. That is my team. It ain't gonna happen.
All right. And looking at the next matchup here, we got you, Coach WTF Nation Radio, who's aptly named CQ's middle finger, playing against Flash here. And wow, it's kind of a sweat, a little bit. Flash could come back and pull off the win, but I think you've got it squarely in your favor.
Man, he's gonna need a rabbit foot and a horseshoe shoved straight up his ass in order to actually get that winner out there. Because I got let me see, I got Graham Gano coming tomorrow. I've got I can't remember who else I've also got going for tomorrow. I've got the running back, not Saquon. He's got Saquon, but
Dalvin Cook.
I got Dalvin Cook, or no, excuse me, that's tonight. So I've got Graham Gano and Dalvin Cook, and that's what I'm looking at for tonight. Tomorrow, he's got Josh Allen going against the Jets D, whoever the hell drafted the Jets D. I'm still pissed off at you. You son of a bitch. But anyway, yeah, so it's looking good right now as far as my lead. I think I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Unlike somebody who's in the chat who was down like 52-4 and ended up winning today.
Who we have coming up next? Hey, actually, there's a possibility, there's a scenario in which he could lose, but I don't see it happening.
Oh, I don't know, man. Tua pulled his ass out today.
Yes, Tua absolutely did. But let's say that the Jets decide to score 2 defensive touchdowns and Greg Zuerlein kicks 3 field goals and 2 extra points. Show me your TDs could come back and pull off this win.
That's true. That's true.
It's not in stone just yet. So Team Radar could lose, but it's funny that he's in the chat because he said, you thought my team was F this morning.
Oh, well,
Everybody did, bro.
That was
Everybody
halftime.
did.
That was the halftime of the first games, and I thought you were definitely had an insurmountable lead because I was looking
Same.
at it and I'm like, damn. And then out of nowhere, man, you pulled that one off. So hats off to you, Radar.
Yep. Tua balled out. You got Austin Eckler doing Austin Eckler things. In a PPR, backs like Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, who else? Like those pass catching type backs. Saquon, who's playing right now and just had a nice carry.
Dalvin Cook, another one.
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
Are you
Breece
afraid
Hall,
of
another one?
Well, are you afraid of them splitting time though? Like,
I'm not.
Eckler's the main back.
Yeah,
I don't know who to play between Breece Hall and Cook.
No, I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about it. No, not at all. Not at all. Because look, Breece can line up as a receiver, and just let Dalvin Cook go ahead and run the ball. I got no problem with that. But like I said, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's got all the options out there, so I've got no problem with that tomorrow whatsoever. That's actually, and you know what the thing is that I had the Bills D. And I will tell you that I completely homered this week and did not start the Bills D. I will start them next week, but I will not. I picked Carolina, which Carolina was doing good until the last quarter. But yeah, no, I did not. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Too many weapons. Too many weapons. And I am happy because at least that game's on ABC and not ESPN.
True that.
Yeah.
Now, this last one, which might be a bit of a sweat as well, we got Steaming Chocolate versus Ambassador Wilson. Shout out to Ambassador Wilson. This is somebody that watches the sports bar. I don't think that they're too familiar with the WTF Nation radio brand, but they reached out to me and was like, hey, how can I get in on this fantasy football? And they've been a supporter and watcher as well. This might be a sweat, man.
No. This ain't gonna be a sweat. I have a feeling Steaming Chocolate's gonna be doing well because he's got Garrett going tomorrow, and I mean, look who his starting quarterback is. Yeah. Too bad you're gonna lose. I mean. Let's just be honest. You got a Dallas receiver and the Dallas quarterback. Yeah, you're not gonna win.
What sucks is when you go down and look at something like the bench. You had Atlanta's technically second string running back pulling out with 24 wins, but take a look at here. Philly's kicker with 18 points. Oh, and how do you have 3 kickers on the team? You should lose if you have 3 kickers on your team with Brent Mayer and Jake Elliott.
He wasn't betting on Kansas City laying an egg against Detroit in the second half. That's what he wasn't betting on.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, we're not going to talk NFL stuff just yet. That's the update for fantasy football stuff, but we are going to come back a little bit more towards the end of the show and talk NFL. Now, Coach, give me a second here as we transition. I'm going to go into the chat and see what we have here. Heath made me laugh. He said, I almost said Minnescrotum when we were talking about the teams earlier today. I saw that in the chat and chuckled. Shout out to you. David Cunningham said that Queen Latifah was singing the national anthem for the Sunday night football game. Hey, I went to a concert. It was my 3rd concert that I've ever gone to. It was the 50th hip hop tour celebration. It was in Baltimore. It headlined LL Cool J with DJ Jazzy Jeff, The Roots, Queen Latifah, Rakim, and a couple of other people. And let me tell you, when Queen Latifah came out, she had the place rocking. Everybody was up on their feet, man. She was definitely fantastic and great to see live. And that lady's talent. Like I know she's talented. You can't be in an industry as long as she has been and not have talented. But to be able to sing and rap and act, oh, multi-talented. I love it.
Well, I don't know about that acting part, but I mean,
What?
yeah, I
Have
don't
you
know.
her character and Set It Off?
Okay. That was about the only one that I would actually say I kind of like that movie, but I don't know, man. I never watched Beauty Shop or anything else like that, man.
Hmm. She was in the TV remake of The Equalizer. And let me tell you, before I watched an episode, I dismissed it. I dismissed it. I was like, I can't see Queen
Yeah,
Latifah in the same role, kind of doing the same stuff. I'm like, really, I just can see it. And then the trailers that they had and the commercials, I'm like, no, that's not a thing. But I decided that I was going to check it out and give it an open mind, and I binge watched all three seasons.
man.
It's actually pretty good.
All right, all right, all right.
Oh man, I didn't realize Dallas scored. You know what? CQ's
Yes,
been
they
quiet over
did.
there. Oh, okay. We're a little bit behind. So yes, I'm looking at it now.
Oh
They got down.
my
Who's number
god.
19?
Don't
A
know, but
blocked.
man,
So it was a defensive score. Okay. Or a special team score. Defense, yeah.
yeah,
So
it's a
block
special
kick
team defense.
returned
Yeah,
in. Man, are you at the game, David? Good night. That was early.
he's
Like
got
the
he's got
ESPN score wasn't even updated until just now.
he's got better service and better internet than we do. I mean, I'm stuck here with damn Spectrum, who was almost about to screw me out of my Sunday night game or my Monday night football game. But no, man, good job on that one,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yep. Thanks, David. Yep. I just watched. It was a blocked field goal. The Giants defender got right through,
Son of
blocked
a
it. Somebody
bitch,
else
and I
picked it
had
up.
Graham Gano as my kicker. Damn.
Uh-huh. And speaking of kickers, Cowboys missed the extra point. It is six
Yep,
zero. He had
man.
to make that correction because the extra point was missed. So it is
Man,
6-0 Cowboys. CQ is not happy. He almost turned over his desk. All right. Heath Barlow said the Browns are going all the way. And Heath, you saying that actually, because I start this, I have something to show you. And I'm doing this just for Heath here. Give me time to bring this up, people. This is a live show, so sometimes it takes us a minute to bring some stuff up. But in honor of Heath Barlow saying that the Browns are going to go all of the way, listen to what Jamar Chase said after the game.
It's frustrating because I called their ass elves and we just lost to some elves. So I'm pissed on my part. I'm pissed on that. And like I said, man, we got missed opportunities. We didn't capitalize on.
So, in today's day and age, you got social media. The part that adds to the sports entertainment of it all is the outtakes and stuff that people have leading up to the games. And the Browns debuted this elf mascot or logo that they debuted, I want to say last year. And to me,
yep.
it's ugly. I don't like it personally. So and nobody I think saw, I ain't gonna say nobody because I don't like saying stuff like nobody and never. Hardly anybody, to include Vegas, had the Browns winning this one. And Jamar Chase said, "We got beat by some damn elves." What do you have to say about that, Coach?
Man, now I'm gonna say that historically, that was something that the Cleveland Browns actually had as part of their roster, going way back to the day that Paul Brown owned the team. But yeah, they did get beat by some elves. My God. And Cleveland. I mean, they can't be a joke forever. I mean,
Hmm.
for crying out loud, I'm pulling for the Jets to win the Super Bowl this year. Everything is ass backwards in the NFL. The
It can
daggone,
be.
yeah, the daggone, if the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl, yeah, it could happen. But at the same time too, this is Cleveland we're talking about, so I mean, they can come all the way back, and so Russell Wilson can be John Elway too, Electric Boogaloo, and have the drive again against them, or not the drive. Yeah, it was the drive. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Let's see. He said, I back the Browns because somebody has to. One of these years.
Toilet paper backs the Browns pretty good.
Know what? Know what I plan on doing? I plan on, because like sports books are easily accessible now. You can make a bet from your phone, which I'm going to show y'all later. I made a small bet that looks like it could pay off if things kind of go my way. We're going to get into that a little bit later on. But I think each year I should put like $100 bet on the Lions and $100 bet on the Browns, like prior to the season starting, when they have like the worst odds of winning the Super Bowl. And one of these days, that $100 bet could pay off to where it wins like 10 grand. Maybe I do that for 30 years and I never make the money back. But hey, you never know. There could be a lot more parity coming up, and in our lifetime, we do see the Browns winning the Super Bowl or the Detroit Lions.
How do you go from about to score a touchdown to gonna settle for a field goal to give up a touchdown in like one fucking play? How?
Ladies and gentlemen, CQ of Pop Culture Warrior.
Bullshit.
He had to get up and leave earlier, and I thought he got it all out when he left. He comes right back in and just had to unload. And not only that, let me tell you, it's a triple whammy for him today. Because if I beat him in the Listeners League, I'm going to also beat him in our other league that him and I has been in since 2013. And his New York Giants are going to get that week 1 L. Or could. Let me say could. Could get that week 1 L.
They're playing the Cowboys. Come on now.
Life is great. All right. Let's see. Let's get to our next subject here, or next topic for today. Coach, we talked a couple of weeks back about the Spanish team that won the soccer.
Yeah, the Women's Cup.
Yep, the Women's World Cup. And there was some controversy that came out of that, as the team president, he was president of the Royal Spanish Football Federation, planted a kiss on one of the players during the celebration. And when you initially looked at it, right, it didn't seem like the lady, and it didn't seem like it wasn't welcome. Let me just say that. And I think she did, I ain't gonna say the right thing, because who knows what the right thing is in that situation. But she just walked down the line and, had went on and finished. But yet, I mean, everybody made the right stink about it, because that's an unwanted type of, thing that occurred. And the guy faced charges of sexual assault and coercion for his conduct afterwards. Let's take a look at that video real quick so that we can remind everybody what it is that we're talking about. Assistant, I'm going to need you to load up this video. My assistant is loading up the video. So here's the kiss right here.
De este maravilloso deporte, quitándole ese título de campeona de este
And then it happened just that fast, right? Just that
deporte,
fast.
quitándole ese título de campeona de este
Boom, walked off.
De este maravilloso deporte, quitándole ese título de campeona de este.
All right, so that right there, initially when it happened, we talked about it on one of our shows last month.
Yep.
He came out and said, I am not resigning, I am not quitting. Well, as of today, Luis Rubiales, and I know I messed that all up, has resigned as president of the Royal Spanish Football Federation because of the ongoing investigations against him following his unsolicited kiss on Spain forward Jenny Hermosa. Did you see this coming? Because I did.
Yeah, I saw this coming. In this day and age, doing something that may have been it wasn't called for, and even 20, 30 years ago that wouldn't have been called for. You're just getting out of the field of play, and now technically you have just objectified that woman as somebody of some type of physical desire. That's not the way athletes want to be portrayed. And you know what? This guy, he got his old man pervertness on him, and yeah, freaking screwed it up for himself. I have no sympathy or empathy for the guy. You know what? Glad that he resigned, and I hope that that woman, is able to kind of work past that. Is the best way. I'm not going to say this is going to harm her career or anything like that, but I will say I hope she's able to work past that and not be known just solely as the woman that got this guy fired because he was a pervert.
Exactly. And there's going to be misguided people that see it that way. I will never understand how people can view that and think that it's okay that he did it. And it wasn't just that. That was the one thing that kind of got filmed, but also he was filmed like grabbing his crotch. He didn't just kiss her, he kissed other players as well.
Hmm.
And initially, the governing body FIFA had given him a 90-day suspension as
Yeah.
they carried out the investigation. But when he handed in his resignation, he's quoted as saying, "I have handed in my resignation to the acting president. I have also informed him that I have done the same with my position at the UEFA so that a replacement for my
UEFA.
role
Yep.
as vice president can be sought. After the suspension by FIFA, in addition to the rest of the proceedings against me, it is clear that I will not be able to return to my position." All right.
Good.
And
Good.
good, absolutely. But that wasn't the only thing that occurred from this. Some additional fallout that occurred was this past Tuesday. Spain's coach, Jorge Vilda, was also fired. All right. So there was a lot that came out from this. And it's one of those things that, how do I say this?
Yeah.
You have to be careful what you do. I think that there is clear, appropriate, and inappropriate things that you can and should do as a player and coach of a mixed gender sport. And kissing your players, I don't care what the coach is, in my opinion, is inappropriate.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. And, the guy stepped over the line on the biggest stage for that team. That's where I see a lot of issue is that, I'll say maybe this has been happening. Maybe that's part of their way of life, but you don't do stupid things like that on the grandest stage for all of, everybody was watching that. All right. It's the Women's World Cup. It is the biggest women's sporting event outside of the Olympics that is seen by a national audience. Doing, or not an international audience, doing something like that was just absolutely stupid on his part. And yeah, you, I mean, all right, I'll put it to you this way. We could, you remember in the military, you could fuck up in front of the company commander, not a problem. You can
Mhm.
fuck up in front of the battalion commander and sergeant major, you get your little ass chewed. You fuck up in front of the CG or you fuck up at some type of big daggone event, your ass is going to be handed to you. There is nothing grander than the Women's World Cup, in the world of soccer. And yeah, you fucked up on that one. So there was heads going to be rolling for that. And yeah, you just can't do it that way. And my
There were
God,
people.
the Giants right now might want to go ahead and every Giant fan just might want to go ahead and turn the channel right now. I feel bad for
there
him.
there
Oh
were
my God.
people,
Oh
coach.
God, man, I feel bad for CQ.
There were people that kept talking about that incident, and this will be one of the last things that we say. that said, well, he was older. That generation's different. It wasn't that bad.
It
What
doesn't
do you have to
matter.
say about that?
Okay, it doesn't matter that generation. It doesn't matter about the generation type of thing. Let's go over this right here. I'm going to say this is, and I'm not sure how it is. I'm not making assumptions that you don't have one in your family, but in the white family that I have, we've got that ignorant kind of uncle, regardless of when the hell he was. And there was the casual racism and things like that, that a lot of stupidity, and stupid words, and stupid things that come out of their mouth just based off of casual racism. That was the norm back in the day. Let's be quite honest, when that stuff happens, nobody accepts it. All right. I don't give a crap how old that person is, dirty old Uncle Joe or, dirty Grandpa Sal cannot say an N word when describing somebody. There doesn't matter what it is, and you can't do anything like that. I don't give a crap what type of generation thing is. Generation gap is something that somebody posts as an ignorant because they have no other way of trying to hide their own, misgivings behind it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse for me, man. I don't give a shit about this guy's age.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at the comment section before we go to the next story. I just looked over and I guess saw that the Giants made a good play because CQ was celebrating here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's
Going
gonna be
into the
sad. That's gonna
comments.
be sad. It's gonna be sad that he's celebrating when they get a stop and they have to hold somebody to a field goal. This isn't
Captain
good. This isn't good.
Captain Wayne Baconator said, "No spine these days in people." And that it's messed up, but losing your career? Oh crap. I didn't know that other stuff, but that it was definitely inappropriate. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. As you were talking about screwing up and stuff, Heath Barlow said, vomit and pass out during pass and review. It works well. LOL.
It works well, except for when you're the damn NCO and it's your soldier doing this, and then you're going to have to sit in front of the sergeant major, and he's going to get ticked off of why the hell did this guy not do this? Well, I have no way of trying to test whether or not he fucking hydrated, and then coming up with all that bullshit. It's kind of like somebody gets rolled up on a DUI, and the entire freaking NCO support channel and chain of command have to go report of why was this soldier drinking on his off duty. That ain't gonna happen. I mean, yeah, I get it, but no, fuck that. That's the reason why I hate the big army bullshit play games that they used to do.
Mike Olson said, guy talking would have been the N word in my hood just for laughs. Oh, ooh, why do I have a timer going off? Assistant, I told you to turn off my phone.
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
wow, I'm looking at the Aquaman trailer. I didn't know that just dropped. There we go,
Nice.
CQ. We got your little pop culture warrior plug in there. You can finally talk about something other than the MCU.
All right. I don't see it. It's not popping up for us over here. So it must be in your region. There was the Aquaman trailer that dropped, CQ. Okay. Yep. He acknowledged. All right.
Good.
All right. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Coco Gauff. We've been talking about
Yes.
her here at the Sports Ball and WTF Nation Radio as well. She won the US Open at 19 years old. She has been on a trail, ending America's drought in the US Open. And also, she was number 6 going into this tournament. She beat the number 2 player. What I don't understand about tennis is that while she was number 6 and beat the number 2 ranked person, the number 2 ranked person after the match moved to number 1. How does that work out? Did you see this news about Coco, and do you have anything to add, Coach?
First thing I did see the news about Coco. I was watching some on Thursday. I saw the semifinal and I saw bits of the final yesterday. But yeah, I did see that. And first off, Coco, great. I'm glad that we've got another American woman that's coming up in the ranks, because ever since Serena's little meltdown at Wimbledon several years ago, women's tennis hasn't been the same. And, you kind of need a good star in order to get that. So glad for Coco. She's been phenomenal. And it's kind of cool that, she was there at the U.S. Open at like 11 cheering on Serena's last win. And then now
I had that video, but I'm not able to play it.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool. I kind of like that one. But the way tennis goes, it has all right. So the four majors, they have a different point scale, and however they base their points, reaching the finals and obviously going, and winning the finals, ups your points that you're around. The number one player in the world, she was eliminated a little bit obviously earlier. So the number two player, because she got into the final, ended up scoring more points or something like that, and put her point total above it for the entire WTA season. So that's how that happens. It's kind of it's kind of screw it up, but the only way I can kind of equate this is, how would I put this? So in Formula One, Max Verstappen, he's got like a massive lead in the right. So the way that they score points is like, if you win, you get 25. If you lose, they only score points for like the top 10. Okay. So like, if you were the number two player or number two person in the world in Formula One and you scored second place, somebody from like fifth place scored fucking first, and then like the number one player, finished like 10th. That the number one racer would end up scoring 1 point. The number two would score that, and depending on the averages, that's how they would end up doing it. So
okay, gotcha.
It's one of those ones where the point system was close enough, and then that's how they, the number two ended up becoming number one. There's no type of number two is now number one. That's usually after a case of Taco
Giggity.
Yeah, no. That's how that rolls out there.
All right. Hey, I appreciate that, because I had no clue. And Michelle Early said that makes sense, Coach. And absolutely, hey, thanks for informing us. See, here at the Sports Bar, WTF Nation Radio, we don't just talk sports, we teach as well. All right. So shout out to Coach for giving us
a shout out to Captain Wayne Baconator. Yes, the shit also rolls downhill.
Yes, it does. David Cunningham said Brad Gilbert has Coco Gauff on point. He is a good coach. I am going to assume that Brad Gilbert is Coco Gauff's coach by that statement. So absolutely. Do you think that Coco, much like the Williams sisters did, that, being that she's doing this at 19, new mom, do you think she's going to dominate for the next 15 years the same way that the Williams sisters did?
I hope so. I hope that they also don't dominate. By the way, incoming CQ rant.
So yes, he motioned and was like, so. Look at this bullshit. Literally, all his hand did was do this, and I translated as look at this bullshit. And when I looked over, I saw it, and then you said incoming CQ rant.
Hey, I will say,
there it is. He laughed.
I will say that I think Coco is going to have a very long career. At least I hope she has a long career, because we never know what's going to end up happening. There's been tennis phenoms before that have had, great starts and everything, and ended up fizzling out. Martina Hingis, Jennifer Capriati come to mind, if anybody remembers them from the 90s. It's one of those ones where you can't predict the future, but from based off of what I see right now, I do believe Coco is going to have a very, very nice career ahead of her, and she's going to be, she's going to be a force to reckon with over the next several years within the world of professional tennis.
All right, that's what's up. There was some other tennis news that came out as well. You talked about it a little bit pre-show. Can you make that announcement? Somebody won.
Uh, okay, yes, no, Novak Djokovic. He is the all-time major winner in what's it called in tennis, and he just won his record again, another record because he's had it before, 24th U.S. Open title or major championship by excuse me, not U.S. Open title, but 24th major championship by today. He just won the U.S. Open, so hooray for that one. And I'll be quite honest with you, I have not seen one single match of his, man. No, hey, look, I'm going to be honest, and this is where the tennis thing kind of gets to me. All right, I
Okay.
get it. There's the greatness of Nadal, Djokovic. There's another guy that was also in that little running there as well too. I was never really a fan of tennis. All right, but there were certain tennis players that were, my generation's kind of like, hell yeah, these guys are good. And that was, the Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi. That was my generation of tennis players. And I just, after Sampras and Agassi got, retired, it was just like, well, there's nobody I really like anymore in tennis. And yeah, granted, it was, they're all international players, and there's no American male that's actually, playing and dominating tennis like Sampras and Agassi are doing right now, or did back in the day. But yeah, so but hats off to Djokovic, 24, still counting. He's going to go down as the one of the, if not the greatest, definitely one of the greatest tennis players of all time. And hey, hats off to you on your 24th major.
Right. That's what's
Or
up.
Grand Slam. They don't call them majors, excuse me. They call them Grand Slams. Yeah.
We have Michelle earlier said Coco's mom is a Delta, so I know she will do well
Oh.
for times to come. Hey, shout out to the Deltas out there. Captain Wayne Baconator has a message for CQ. CQ, I'm going to read this so you can hear me. CQ might need NFL fan therapy. It is only for extreme cases. So that sounds like you might be an extreme case. He just shakes his head and looks at the roof. Hey, you know what? I don't want to insult the man for graciously allowing me to use his studio, because his setup's way nicer than mine. And he's like, don't jerk me off right now so you can keep coming back. Because next weekend, I would like to come back on Sunday, as this is not, because like you got the game over here. If I do this from my place, I can't watch the game the same way. Actually, yeah, I can have it up on my phone, but it's not the same. And CQ's got the fancy stuff over here in Studio Delta.
Hell yeah.
I don't know why I called it Delta, but yeah.
Hell, man, CQ's got the setup over there. I mean, I would want to be there instead of this fucking dungeon that I'm in. I've literally got one lamp right now shining me up. That's all I've got over there.
He said it's not like he can give you the bird. He can on one finger. and there it is for proof. Oh man. And technically with his prosthetic, he could. If we want to get technical. Oh man. We love CQ at Pop Culture Warrior Tuesday nights here at WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, actually, ask CQ if Matt ever processed that payment for him.
Did Matt ever process that payment for you? That's a question from Coach. Did Matt ever process that payment for you? He laughed. He said yes.
Good.
He laughed and said yes. All right. Let's see. Next on our agenda. Oh man, I'm okay embarrassing myself. We're gonna talk some college football. All right. But before I
I've been waiting for this all weekend.
before
Oh,
I
yes.
do, let it be known where my allegiance lies. I was born in Alabama, not necessarily raised there, as my dad was an Army veteran, but born and raised for the most part in Alabama. I am a University of Alabama Crimson Tide football fan. Always have been, always will be. Unlike my NFL team, which I used to be a Falcons fan. So I talked some king shit over this weekend as the former number 3 team played against the former number 11 team, University of Texas, in our home stadium and lost. I was not too thrilled about that. So before we get into everything, I'm going to give y'all a live look at how I looked after the game in which Alabama played Texas. This is me on the ground when the clock hits zeros, wearing my Who's Gonna Carry the Boat shirt. Shout out to David Goggins, U.S. Navy veteran, motivational speaker. I've bought one of his books. I would love to meet that man in real life. If anybody knows David Goggins and can get me and him in the same room together, I would just, to me, he's inspirational. But yeah, this is me on the ground, upset that my team got beat after I talked king shit that Texas didn't stand a chance against my University of Alabama Crimson Tide football team. But let me tell you, it looked like Alabama at one point had a chance, and then that fourth quarter, it just kind of went downhill. Coach, whatever you got to say, just get it out the way now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to be a little philosophical here, okay? So, the shortest sentence in English language is I am. The longest sentence in English language is I do. And the dumbest sentence in American language is Roll Tide.
Oh, you bastard. You bastard. Oh my goodness. Do you have a hand clap sound or a buzzer sound?
Hook 'em horns!
God dang it. Oh man, you reeled me in. I was listening. I'm like, okay. And then when you bastard. You know what? Actually, coach, you know what? Since I got the power, how about that? Let me bring it back on.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second, because you know what? I got to say one thing, or two things. Number one, you know that it's got to suck because even the University of Hawaii won yesterday.
Yeah,
Okay.
but who did they play? Talladega High School?
Oh my goodness. Hold on. They played somebody, but I mean, come on. University of Hawaii is playing on their home campus on a terrible field because the Aloha Stadium has been rusted shut and is not going to have a stadium till like 2030 or something like that because, they got to import all the steel and everything. So that's the one thing I got to say about that one. But then, it's been a bad weekend for people over there in Alabama because, not only did you all lose to Texas, but your former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Breece Hall, got smoked today by the Atlanta Falcons and some quarterback who I didn't even know existed up until game time today. And, by the backup running back who, they drafted a guy number 10. And then this guy who was on the team last year, or Remus, or I think it was his name is, or something like that, ends up freaking running ruckshot all over them and embarrassing Bryce Young in his first NFL game, man. So, all right, maybe I'll go ahead and I'll just keep that. Albany. Okay, they played Albany. And I guess it was Albany's, the Covenant Tree School for Women's Typewriting or something like that, because at least they won. But you know what? You know what team doesn't have somebody? You know what team doesn't have somebody on Bama on it?
Who?
This team.
The Giants don't have a Bama player? Oh,
There
the
you
audio
go.
didn't play the first time around.
Because I found out the way to get that going.
There you go.
That's how you do that. Yep, Fireman Ed is going to be my now go-to. I'm gonna I'm gonna somehow crop this clip, and I'm gonna keep that going. So anytime I've got something happening, and I talk about the Jets, I'm gonna go ahead and bring that up, just so I can start it all off and make me happy for this one. Not as happy as everybody in Texas is for beating up on Roll Tide, Alabama. Oh my goodness.
Primarily while we're here talking about college football, the next major story that I want to talk about and highlight is Coach Prime of the Colorado Buffaloes. But before I do, there were some interesting takes, some interesting storylines looking across the scores. For example, the first one that I'm going to highlight, Texas Tech could have pulled it off against number 13 Oregon.
Yep, they could have, but they
wait,
didn't.
hold on. Something is playing somewhere, and I need to figure out how to mute it.
It ain't me.
Yeah, it's me.
Hell.
I don't know if people can hear that. There it is. Got it. All right.
Hey,
boom.
I do hear the pain that CQ is going through your microphone, though.
Coach said that he could hear the pain that you're going through the microphone. FYI. So the other one, Appalachian State, the king of spoilers, went into a double overtime game against North Carolina, and I was waiting to see how that one was going to end, and they could not pull it off.
Yep. App State, the Mountaineers have been always punching above their weight. I love that school. I love that campus. I will tell you, if y'all ever go up to Boone, North Carolina, absolutely beautiful. We're Appalachian State, not App State, not Appalachian State. It's Appalachian State and I swear to God, it's a great place up there. But just couldn't pull it off against UNC, even though UNC beat USC the last weekend. I'll say this, when it comes down to North Carolina football, I'm not talking about just UNC, but overall the state of North Carolina. I've only got allegiance to one team, and that's East Carolina, just because my daughter goes there. But that being said, UNC had their backs up against the wall from the beginning of this season because nobody is believing in the ACC for football.
Yeah, they might want to start believing.
They might want to start believing. This game against Appalachian State tested their mettle. The game against USC, hey, it could have gone either way, but they pulled it out. And I will tell you that University of North Carolina, you might want to take a look at them at the end of the year. They might not be a number 1 seed. They might not be a number 2 seed, but they might sneak in as that number 4 seed. And don't sleep on the ACC. It might be... You might want to call it a cupcake schedule, but I'm going to tell you, this UNC team has got something going on, and I think they might have a run in them. They might have a run in them.
The other surprise of the week, the Wisconsin Badgers traveled to Washington State, who weren't ranked in the top 25, whereas the Badgers were number 19. Wisconsin was favored to win by 5 and lost to Washington State 31-22.
Didn't even watch that game. I feel bad for that one. Wisconsin is, they've been up and down, and I feel bad. The Big Ten has become a bastardized freaking league. I mean, they're about to include Stanford and freaking UCLA in here. 2 teams from freaking California in the Big Ten. And I just feel bad for, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's been one of those stalwarts. I just wish that, some good would come from them. I liked it when they had Ron Dane on that team. You remember, CQ, you remember when Ron Dane, he isn't even watching this. Fuck him.
He can't hear you. Yeah.
He can't hear shit. So I liked them when they had Ron Dane on the team. I liked them when Russell Wilson was on the team. And before he married Sierra, and then just went to shit after that. But it was yeah, hell, kills me on that, man.
I got two more, and then we're going to get into Colorado. Miami played against the ranked number 23 Texas A&M team, and let me tell you, they put up 48 points. They won 48-33 to now crack into the top 25 themselves. Like I said, man, that ACC is starting to look formidable, and the Hurricanes are actually starting to look pretty damn good. Are you surprised by that?
No, I am not, and here's my reason why. And we go back all the way. We've been talking a lot about the NIL, okay, with the name, image, likeness licensing that's been happening. University of Miami, I had a feeling, was going to be one of those hotbed universities where the NIL deals were going to be getting done. And now we're into the second year of that. The U is coming back, and I don't think they're coming back to national championship prominence, but they're going to come back to not being a doormat anymore, where now Florida is going to be the doormat within that triangle of universities between Florida State, Miami, and FSU, and Florida. So I'm kind of glad that Miami is getting a little bit better. I hope that it continues on, but it doesn't surprise me. Like I said, I think those NIL deals are perfectly tailored fit for a university like the U.
All right. I have two more to cover. One, I'm just going to say real quick. People thought that Tulane was here. They wasn't. Ole Miss put up 37-20 against them. That knocked Tulane out of the top 25. So they sniffed it for a second. They got booted out. And then the other one, Clemson. All right, Clemson was in the top 25, and even though they won 66-17, at halftime of that game, it was only 24-17, and people were like, "Wait a minute, is Clemson going to be 0-2, losing to Charleston Southern?" And the joke that I had was, it was like, all right, Clemson was playing against Charleston Southern. That's one of those check game, so to speak, where you pay the smaller school a check, you show up, you're supposed to put up 66 points. But the fact that it was 24-17, it was almost like they went into halftime and was like, hey, y'all don't forget, we had an agreement and y'all aren't honoring this agreement, so we need y'all to suck and us to put up 80 points. And when they came back out in the second half, Clemson put up an explosive 28 points in the third and 14 in the fourth. And Charleston Southern kept the goose egg that they were supposed to have. But people were talking on X, the former Twitter, about how Charleston Southern could pull off the win against Clemson. But rightfully so, too. Clemson dropped out of the top 25, and they just don't look the same.
No, they don't, and Dabo's got to get that team in order. They had talent going all the way for this past decade coming into the school, and this might become an off year for him. So Dabo's got to step up his game and get those players onto the same sheet of music, so that this way they can start getting back to their winning ways. But man, Dabo's got tough season ahead of him. I hope he gets a good recruiting class. I say that because I actually do some work out there on Clemson University. Great university, great campus. Love going up there to Death Valley, and I don't want to show up to a game and it being half empty because the team sucks this year.
All right, good stuff.
Oh, and
Shout
speaking
out.
and now I want to say one thing. Oh,
look who popped up.
Goodness gracious. Do we have she's watching the sportsing show, and thank you, Mom, for coming. I appreciate you being on here.
Mom is in the building.
Yeah. No, excuse me, that's Spanky. What
the See, you messed me up, Spanky.
Yeah,
I blame Coach on that one.
God. Now hold on. Who the heck put that dag? Yeah, it was Yeah, all right. So, yeah, I'm sorry. It was Spanky that now is watching the sportsing show and doing her normal, her sportsing meme for everything that she has out there, because she doesn't like sports. Mom loves sports, or excuse me, yeah, Mom loves sports. In fact,
Yes.
Mom was over at the she was watching the Browns and the Bengals game today, and oh my God, did Joe Burrow definitely look like they overpaid him. I feel bad. He like did the sequel of Russell Wilson last year.
We're gonna talk about NFL news later, so hold off on that.
Let's do
Hold
that.
off on that.
Yeah, let's do that, brother.
All right, now the creme de la creme of our NCAA news today, the Colorado Buffaloes. All right, they are 2-0. They have already won one more game than they did all of last year in Coach Prime's tenure. Okay, this is Coach Prime's first year there. He transferred from Jackson State, and he's brought a whole lot of hype around him. The great thing that I like is what he's doing with social media as well. His son is running like their TikTok and their YouTube channel stuff. Actually, two of his sons are. And they're giving a lot of people the behind the scenes look at the culture and stuff that's going on there. So they played TCU last week and poured off the win. And nobody really accounted for that or saw them winning that game. Going into this game against Nebraska, all right, who lost their first game, but were still. I want to say that they were favored. I'm going to go back and double check. I want to say that Nebraska was favored in that game. Nope. Colorado was only favored by 2.5 points. They were only favored by 2.5 points, but still, that's a small spread. And they got out there, and it was a pretty interesting first half. It was a slow start. But Colorado came out and pulled it off 36-14. And when you look at that Colorado team, man, the culture behind it, the hype behind them, what Shedeur Sanders is doing, the fact that they're packing out, or that they packed out the first home game this year, whereas last year you couldn't pay people to show up to the game. Are they the team to watch this year, man? What's your thoughts on the Colorado Buffalo? Are they for real? Is Coach Prime here, as he says? And how do you think that their outlook is going forward, especially with their schedule?
Okay, their schedule in the Big 12, little bit easier than people are saying with the ACC.
They're in the Pac-12.
Pac-12, excuse me. I didn't mean Big 12. Sorry about that. In the Pac-12, a little bit better, a little bit easier than the ACC is. But I'm going to say this. I want to see how this team does after their first loss. Okay. It's going to happen. I don't think they're going to go undefeated this season, and Coach Prime is going to, magically whisk away and then all of a sudden become the coach over there of FSU and come in and high step it on Doak Walker Stadium. That ain't going to happen. But I have a feeling that there's going to be some bumps in the road, and I think they're going to make a bowl this year. I'm pretty sure they're going to make a daggone bowl this year, but I really want to see how they're going to react after a loss. If they go 11-1, 12-1, there shouldn't be any type of denying them a chance to be in the college football playoff. I will say that. But there's going to be a loss coming up here soon. I can't predict when it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be. But there will be a loss coming up for the Buffaloes this season. And I want to see how they react. You can have as much energy and as much amp and as much adrenaline right now coming off of a great win against TCU and your home opener. You end up winning the home opener against Nebraska, who, was a powerhouse. Now, not really a big powerhouse. But that being said, you have a lot of momentum going. Keep that momentum going. But I want to see how Coach Prime does after a loss in that team, because it's going to end up happening, and that's where you're going to show your true mettle of a team as well as your true mettle of a coach.
Here's their next 3 games. They play Colorado State, which is not a Pac-12 game.
That'll be a win.
Then they run into Oregon, USC, Arizona State. Then they go through their their conference. So Colorado State, Oregon, USC. They're 2-0 now. Where do you think that their standings are going to be after the USC game, which is the end of September?
I want to say 4-1, and it's either going to be USC or Oregon. They're going to get tripped up at, but I think they're going to win both. It would surprise me if they're 3-2. It would be okay. I'll be more surprised if they're 5-0. I will be even more surprised. I'll be even more surprised if they're 3-2 than they are if they're 5-0. So I think they're going to go 4-1. It's either going to be the Oregon or the USC game. I think Colorado State's going to be a good one. Hopefully they can keep the momentum up going against Oregon. But I mean, the Ducks over in Oregon. Look, man, the fucking Oregon's weird. All right, you know that field's brought by Nike. They might have a different freaking like a reflective Nike jersey on that game that might fuck around with Buffalo or something. But you know if they can get past Oregon, I don't know. Maybe that's that's a tough test right there. And then USC always going to end up being a tough test. You're going against the defending Heisman Trophy winner. Oh, I don't know about that one. That's where I think we might be seeing a 4-0 Ducks going against, damn, what the hell's the Heisman Trophy winner's name? The quarterback for USC. You know who I'm talking about, right?
No. Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, yeah, because he's in those damn Wendy's commercials.
Wait. You said Heisman Trophy winner, Matt Leinart?
No. The one who's
the current kid?
Yeah, the current one. Yeah, the one who.
Caleb Williams. Yes.
Yeah, Caleb Williams. Yeah, the current Heisman Trophy winner that's in the in the Wendy's commercials with Matt Leinart.
So here's my take on this.
Yeah,
I had somebody ask me if I was willing to take the bet of when they play against USC. So my peers think that they are going to beat Colorado State. That they are going to beat Oregon, but that when they go into USC, because that's at USC.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. No, that's a home game for the Buffaloes. Okay. So it's a home game, but he was curious if I would take the bet against Coach Prime, and I said, man, I'm gonna make this 100% clear. I will never bet against Coach Prime. Ever. Do I think that they're going to make it through and be 5-0? That's tough. Have them winning against Colorado State. I think that they could beat Oregon. But man, that USC team, offense, defense, special teams, they seem more disciplined than Colorado do at this point.
Yeah.
So I think it's a tough ask for that team. Going there. It's not that I'm doubting them. It's that when I take a look at the eye test, USC is as talented as they are, but in my opinion, might be a little bit more disciplined than Colorado is.
Yeah, and they've got the pedigree. I mean, for crying out loud, Coach Prime is starting from scratch with everything that he did. All right, inheriting a team that he never, even though it's a first-year league team, he's got players on his team that he never recruited. He's got a bunch of transfers that are playing for him, never fully gelled. USC is bringing back a lot of the players, and they're bringing back a Heisman-winning quarterback.
And
you can't go over, you can't dismiss, that, even though the college football feels at times like it's you can get a super team together, like in college basketball. You can't do it that way. You can't really do it that way. And by the way, how's CQ doing right now?
Oh yeah, he's silent. When David Cunningham put up the score and said it was 26-0, CQ had already waved me and showed me that Tony Pollard had ran it in and scored, and he's sitting in his chair in silence playing Xbox.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this. And this is nothing. All right, look, Dallas can win. All right, I got no problem with that one. Dallas can win whatsoever. No worries about that. But I'm laughing my ass off who the hell was the person who drafted Dak Prescott? That was
league.
Ambassador Wilson. Yeah, Ambassador Wilson. Let's be honest. They're up 26-0, and Dak Wilson is the lowest score. He's scored
Dak
less
Prescott.
than Dak Prescott has scored less than Geno Smith right now. They're winning this game despite Dak Prescott, okay?
That's the worst, man. Like, that's the worst when you don't know how the points were scored. And let's say you're at an event or something and you see that it's not even halftime and your team scored 26 points. You're like, oh man, you just kind of naturally assume that the quarterback's part of that reason. And then you go in and look and see that it had nothing to do with the quarterback. You're like, oh, that's the worst.
Yep. And you know what's sad? Graham Gano is killing me right now because I'm a -1 because of the blocked freaking field goal because of his ass. And man, Daniel Jones, I wonder how that contract extension's coming. In fact, you know what? This beer's for you because you know what? You're going to need one after this game, you bum.
All right, I have one more thing to cover from Colorado real quick. And I just think that it's fascinating. All right, I just think that it's fascinating. I'm going to play this video here, and I have to fast forward it a bit. But this was after Colorado beat Nebraska, what Coach Prime said to his team. Take a look.
Celebrate that tomorrow, right? Yeah. So let's go. Give it up.
We got a game ball here for our most valuable player. The thing that I love the most, I heard a story that no matter what the score was, she didn't leave till the game was over.
That's right.
And she told me if the kids got to stay, that means she's got to stay. And if it doesn't mean it's personal. Game ball, Peggy.
So I'm going to assume that Peggy could be like the team's mom. I'm not quite sure who she is, but there's a stage that Coach Prime stands on, and I don't know if this was always there, if this is something that he brought on, but what struck me as I watched the beginning of this video, which I fast forwarded to, is when Coach Prime walked up on the stage after I think this is the athletic director right here. You saw all eyes get glued on him. All right. That's a man that has command of the locker room. And the athletic director or whoever he is, he brought up 2 team balls. And he said that he apologized that after the week 1 win, Coach Prime didn't get the first team ball. So he handed it to Coach Prime, but Coach Prime immediately gave it to Betty right here. All right. And then as this continues, listen to what Coach Prime says.
This ball right here is special as well, because this man here, I'm not going to say he took a chance, but he rolled the dice. And I thank him for not only giving me the opportunity, which gave so many coaches opportunity, which ultimately gave so many of our players opportunity. Sure. But he said, "You my guy, I'm going to get you, and you're going to come to Colorado." And I'm thankful that he came. God bless you, Rick. Guys, I'm so very proud of you guys. It's unbelievable when we all believe, isn't it? Yeah. What can happen when we all believe? Yes, sir. It is unbelievable. Like right now, I'm so full of emotion because I knew what the outcome was going to be. I told Rick it's better to be about 21 or more. We played like garbage, and we still did what we did. We played like garbage. We played like garbage.
But we did what we had to do.
We did what we had to do. But we still did what we had to do. I want this to be iconic, so Peggy, I need you on this one. Ready, DJ?
Okay, give me my theme music.
And I apologize. I called her Betty because she looked like a Betty, but her name is Peggy. Peggy is a longtime fan at 98 years old, at the game, wearing Colorado gear. And when I saw that video, I smiled. I see what Coach Prime is doing. He has changed the entire culture around Colorado sports and around Colorado football, but not just football, but sports in general. When you watch the social media videos that his sons put out across their TikTok and YouTube channel, you hear the way that the guys approach the game, where they talk about discipline and things like that. But I do have one criticism that I'm going to make to Coach Prime, and whether he hears this or not, because I know he watches the show sometimes, I have to say I was somewhat disappointed when his son got the penalty for taking off his helmet after that one scrambled touchdown pass. Coach Prime said that when he came to the sideline, he addressed it with him, and then his son immediately came back and said, "Dad, it's personal." And Coach Prime just kind of the way he talked about it in the press conference was he shrugged his shoulders, and he didn't indicate that it was something that he made him pay for. But at the same time, like he talks about discipline, not making dumb penalties and everything like that. And I'm like, man, if that was any other player, gassers or some type of, punishment would come down. And it doesn't seem like there was any punishment that was going to come down from that. And I'm like, I think it's a bit hypocritical to have that occur, have your player take off his helmet and get a penalty, and you don't give some type of discipline for it. So that's my only criticism. But really, so far, I like what Coach Prime is doing. You don't bet against Coach Prime at any level. And I can't wait to see what they do during the rest of this football season.
I don't blame you about that one, especially when it comes down to, I'm not going to say it looks like a little bit of impropriety, but it can definitely come off that way. It looks like, Coach's son's now getting the best of it out there. And, as a coach myself, I would definitely say that Coach's son would have been the one who was setting the example, not the one that is not setting the example.
Exactly.
So, that being said, yeah, Dion does look like he had a little bit something. But I'm going to give Dion a little bit of a pass on this, all right? Because what made Dion so endearing was the fact that he was prime time.
Prime time,
he
baby.
He was neon Dion. And when it mattered the most, he got caught up into himself and his own, ways that he was with his competitiveness. But let's be quite honest, he needed to have his butt whooped a couple times by what's his name, by by Coach Bowden when he was at there, and I hope that Coach Bowden didn't let him get away with that, and I know he probably never did.
Mm-hmm.
That said, there's sometimes where the emotions get the best of you and you don't think about it. And possibly he might have been seeing him having a little bit of a father moment right there.
The one thing about hold on, coach. Right. The one thing about that though is that if I'm another player and I see that, if I have a slip up like that, you better let me slide. And hey, so on Monday after Monday's practice, you owe me gassers. Does your son owe gassers? I'm the guy that's going to say that to the coach. Might get me kicked off the team, but I'm going to bring that up. So you have to be consistent about that, because other people are going to see that and that's the coach's son. No, you talk about discipline, that should apply to everybody.
I agree. So that being said, let's wait to see how this plays out without the team. All right, let's see how this plays out. Let's give Coach Prime a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. It was a very emotional win. I mean, this was, this win right here was at home at a university that hadn't had a good season in a long time. And, it was a pretty damn big win for them. So, not as big as TCU, but it was. That said, like I want to give Coach Prime a little bit of the benefit of the doubt on this one and allow him to handle it on his own. And I hope he handles it before the next game. Because if
Yep.
then, and I will say this, if a reporter does not ask the question about it, that might be something that might show a little bit of a crack in the foundation of Coach Brown.
It'll be a lost opportunity. I hope, because he's kind of, I'm not going to say checked reporters, but he's given some pushback to the reporters as well. And I hope that foster a culture of people not asking him tough questions, because, hey, who knows? Maybe he did behind the scenes do more than just laugh it off after his son came back and said this was personal. So we'll see. But I want to highlight this comment real quick. Heath Barlow said, I coach my own daughter, and I promise I'm as hard or harder on her than any other player I have. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He also wrote something that I started as well, talking about Mad Mike, but I'm going to bring that up here a little bit later. Before we go on to NFL stuff,
Tuesday's Pop Culture Warrior is going to be a shit show.
Absolutely. Before I go, I actually was supposed to show something because of Mad Mike, and I got thrown off a bit, so I won't. Could I bring this up? You know what? Let me do this. So I'm going to talk about the next thing that we have before we go on and talk about the NFL, and that could give me enough time to bring this up. So I made a bet. on the DraftKings Sportsbook, and I'm going to show this. The picture's going to be grainy. I couldn't get it in HD, but I'm going to talk about it, all right? So what you're looking at is my Sportsbook play slip, and you're not going to be able to see it, so I'm just going to read it off. I made 3 bets about who's going to win the Heisman this year. One of them was for Travis Hunter at plus 1,000. So a $20 bet, if he were to win in December, would pay out $1,020. But the ones that I'm kind of proud of that looked like it could have been a money bet were the 2 that I put with Shedeur Sanders. Initially, before game 1, the odds of him winning the Heisman were at plus 20,000. He was at the bottom. I want to say that was like tied with the worst odds. After game 1, it cut in half and went to plus 10,000. So I placed this bet on like November the 3rd. And a $100 bet, if he were to win from the time that I placed this bet, pays out $10,000. Now, I could cash out now and get $200, or I can let this baby ride. I also said, you know what? I'm going to place another bet. And when I went back 4 days later on September the 7th, I put a $50 bet, and the odds improved tremendously to plus 6,000. I don't know what they are today, but at plus 6,000, a $50 bet would pay out $3,000. So I have $150 on Shedeur Sanders to win the 2023 Heisman. And if he does, my $150 bet would pay out $10,300 plus my initial $150. I'm happy about that, Coach. I am happy about that.
That's not bad at all, man. That's nothing to sneeze at. Now, me, because I am one of those guys that, when it comes down to gambling, I am ultra cautious.
Mm-hmm.
I would, for me, I would just say, let it ride. For me, I tell you, let it ride. Let it ride until. All right, you know what? You're gonna take a dip. I'm going to admit that you're gonna take a dip. Let it ride all the way up until you can see what you can cash out at the USC game. And then after the USC game, you got about for me, I would cash out at USC because I don't think you're going to get any higher odds until after USC, or I don't think it'll be by that time, the race might also be over. He might have a stinker of a game, but I would trust your gut after the USC game. That's what I'm saying.
What I can do, what I can do is cash out on one of them.
All right.
And if it's more than the 150, that's still a net positive. I could cash out on this smaller one here. And if this smaller one ever gets to where the cash out's like at 200, or even if it's at 150, I don't mind losing out on a chance at $3,000 if I can still at least get the money back that I put in. And if Shedeur Sanders doesn't win the Heisman on my higher bet with the worse odds, then I at least still got my money back that I put in on my initial bet.
There you go. There you go,
So,
man. But you're also talking to a guy, like I said, man. I'm ultra conservative when it comes down to bets. I don't bet unless it's I know it's a sure thing.
Yeah, so. I'm the exact opposite of you. I like to say, what's the worst odds that lightning could strike and it could happen? And I take factors in location, personnel, prior history, and sometimes I'll take $100 and flush it down the toilet. But on times that those astronomical odds do hit, when they hit big, and you are definitely smiling at the end.
That's true. That is true, buddy.
So I wish that picture came out a lot clearer, but it is what it is. I did talk about it, and I hope that my explanation went well. Now, I'm going to show this comment, and then I'm going to show y'all a video that y'all all have been waiting for. David Cunningham said, I think Caleb Williams will be a back-to-back Heisman winner. I want to say he's the current favorite. Let me go in and look and see what the current favorite is.
But I will say those Heisman voters, man, if you want to talk about old people and generational type of gap, that's where the true generational gap is. There hasn't been one since what's his name, Griffin and at Ohio State. Okay, there hasn't been one since. So I don't think that those old farts that are, up there and the Heisman Trophy voters are going to vote for a second time. The odds are against him. I will say that.
All right. So right now, Caleb Williams is the lead according to Vegas. Quinn Ewers from Texas is at plus 1,000. Bo Nix is at plus 2,200. Shedeur Sanders, from when I placed that bet at plus 6,000, is now at plus 3,000. So his odds have gone up and making a huge jump as well after a tremendous game. You've heard the name Marvin Harrison. Well, Marvin Harrison Jr. balled out with 2 touchdowns, over 100 and some yards in last week's game. And Travis Hunter's odds haven't improved. He's at plus 7,000, which I don't think he would have to lead the NCAA in INTs or be top 5, as well as lead his team in receiving yards or touchdowns or one of the other stats as well. I think it's understated that he plays a majority of snaps on both offense and defense, and that should be in consideration itself. But he's also going to have to put up stats, I think, for people to really start talking about him the same way that they're talking about Shedeur Sanders.
Hey, Woodson had to put up some pretty decent stats in order to get the Heisman when he won it over there at Michigan. So you're going to have to expect to do the same on that one. Now, hey,
exactly.
I don't want to throw off what we were talking about and what we're doing, but did we ever talk about? And I'm pretty sure we did. Do you remember talking about the Ohio State University trying to trademark the word "the"? Did you remember?
No, we didn't. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I didn't even know that. No.
Yeah, that was, oh gosh. it was I don't remember where the heck I was. Somebody I thought we talked about that for some reason, but
No, it wasn't us.
I wonder whatever happened to that crap. Trademarking the word "the," and when you brought up Marvin Harrison Jr., it made me think about that.
The Buckeyes can't make like there are certain universities that culturally I just can't stand. They're one of them. They hit the top of the list. They're above Auburn, in my opinion. All right, Roll Tide. I'm still gonna be rolling
God.
Tide. All right. Uh, let's take a live look at CQ right now, losing in both of his fantasy leagues that I am playing against him in, and the real life Giants team. Let's take a look. Wrong video. I should fire my assistant. I did not do that properly. Assistant, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right. It is going to be right here. Let's take a look. This is a live look at CQ currently. Right now.
All of training camp, which everyone said was really close, you know, and the game doesn't start. All of training camp, which everyone said.
Just sitting down, soaking. Oh, not doing anything.
Oh
Man.
Now CQ knows what it feels like to be a Jets fan. And I'm echoing. All right, good. That's all.
Oh man. All right, let's get that off the screen. CQ can blame Mad Mike for that one. Actually, when he said that, I said, ooh, I should put that up. All right. So let's take this off. Let's bring this back up. Okay, as we go back here with this, I don't think we're going to have to worry about too many sweats. I'm going to get my win. Annika, who's Danica Sledge, actually could beat Mad Mike, and she had 2 goose eggs. That's embarrassing. Let's see. You are going to right now. You're projected to win, but bro, that's close.
But that's based off of how Josh Allen goes against that New York Jets defense tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I hate to say this, it's definitely going to be a little messed up for them. Graham Gano is screwing me over, man. Graham Gano is screwing me over right now. Freaking -2. This guy's what the hell was I thinking? Dear God, I'm getting fucked by the Giants. That's the biggest problem. I'm getting fucked by the Giants.
Yep. So we do have some that are already looking like they're definite dubs, and then look at this between Mr. Wilson and Mr. Funas, Steven Chocolate versus Ambassador Wilson. That's interesting. Dak Prescott with his lowly 4.24 right now on a team that's winning 26-0.
29-3, actually. No, 26-3. Is that 26-3? Somebody,
I don't see a 3.
Who put that scoreboard up there saying
it's 0? David Cunningham. Quit giving us the wrong score.
Damn, dude. Damn. Oh my God.
Nah, David, man, I appreciate you.
Hey, CQ just got happy because he saw the 3 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks on the team, you know, sending a check out there. And that's the last.
I didn't see it.
Oh, just wait. Oh my God, wide open and they can't catch a ball. My God.
Oh wow, just blip 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 blah bobbity drop it like it's hot.
Man, CQ is gonna hate me, but you know what? This is what it feels like to be a Jet fan week after freaking week, and it's about damn time that he feels that.
I love it. Now let's get into some NFL news and then close the show here. You know what? No, we do have some breaking news that occurred. Let's get that up on the screen here, and then we're going to talk about that because I don't want to end on this news because it ain't good news. All right, so
you know what?
News.
Hey, I've now got something that we can go ahead and play every time that we've got breaking news. Okay.
What's
You
that?
want me to play it?
What's that?
All right, I'll play it. Give me a second. I'll play it.
Coach is bringing it up. Oh, hold on.
Jets.
Two things to bring up, actually. You know what? I'm not going to bring up the one that's sad. I'm actually going to talk about this one. The Patriots are going to induct Brady into their Hall of Fame. The reason why this is kind of breaking, so to speak, is that typically you have to be eligible for the Patriots Hall of Fame and retired for at least 4 years per rules set forth by the team to ensure that an inductee doesn't suddenly become an active player. Well, when you're Tom Brady and you do what he did, and it doesn't look like he is coming back, he's not going to pull a Brett Favre.
He's even making commercials talking about joking coming back with Tony Romo.
Yep.
Right.
I saw that one. I saw that.
Yeah.
So the ceremony is going to occur next year, June 12th of 2024, inside of Gillette Stadium, the first of its kind for the franchise. All right. And the date is significant, being 6/12, reflecting the number of Super Bowls that Brady won as a Patriot and his jersey number. So shout out to Tom Brady, man. The GOAT at quarterback. It pained me to say that, but it's true. Do you think anybody else can duplicate that?
As a Jet fan, I will say that it also pained me to say that as well. It's going to take a long time for somebody to duplicate it. Somebody will. Further on down the line, there's always going to be another greatest of all time that's going to end up coming. All right, unless your name is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. But there will be somebody that will bring, the type of relevance around there. There will be another generational talent that will be, that will do something similar to what Tom Brady did. I don't know whether they're going to get, I'll say this, I don't know whether they're going to get all these MVPs, but somebody might win 7 championships with their team. And if they do, more power to them. But that's probably not going to happen in our lifetime again. And you know what? I will say this about the retiring of jerseys and retiring of numbers and all of these other things. When you have the transcendent athlete, you don't do that. For crying out loud, Michael Jordan had his damn number retired by the Miami Heat, a team he never played for. Nobody in the NHL, nobody in the National Hockey League has worn number 99 since Gretzky retired. Gretzky retired, and he was immediately put into the Hockey Hall of Fame within his first year of eligibility. There are those that transcendent that are able to do it and be able to go out of there. I mean, and I'm saying this it's a sad sense, but Kobe was put right into the Hall of Fame the next year after his unfortunate, death and everything that happened there. He was put into the Hall of Fame.
He said,
transcendent athletes deserve it, and Tom Brady deserves it. There is no New England Patriots Hall of Fame without Tom Brady.
Absolutely. Heath Butler said, will all of the balls be deflated for the event?
No. Unfortunately, because she's no longer with Giselle, his balls will still be full. Oh God.
We do
Speaking
have
of that. What is Giselle doing right now?
Finding her next victim.
Oh God!
I shouldn't have said that.
I hope
I
he's
shouldn't have
rich.
said that.
I hope he's rich.
Oh yeah, you can't be Giselle and and
Doesn't Giselle have more money than Tom Brady too?
it was reported that she does,
Yeah,
but
could have
still,
sworn yeah.
but still. The other breaking news thing, I am actually going to talk about it because as I was reading it, I was like, man, this is bad on so many levels. Did you hear about Michigan State's football coach Mel Tucker and what occurred?
Now, yes and no. I know that we talked about it beforehand, but I did not hear it before the show. So let's go ahead and enlighten the audience.
Okay, well, Michigan State's football coach, after being there for 4 years, is now suspended effective immediately amid an harassment case. And as I'm reading this is bad, okay? So he being the coach, had hired a lady by the name of Brenda Tracy, who operates a nonprofit company that tries to raise awareness about sexual misconduct, especially among college athletes. He had hired her to come and talk to the team about the very subject that he's being investigated against, because what she is claiming, and she told university investigators that the coach, after he hired her, had sent her gifts, asked if she would date him if he wasn't married, and I don't even know if we can say this term. I'm gonna say jacked off while on the phone with her without her consent. Okay. And Tucker told investigators that he took part in it, so he didn't deny it, but said that it was consensual. So, the assistant coach will serve as the interim coach, and the assistant coach came and said that he was first made aware that Tucker was being accused of violating the school's sexual misconduct policy late in December, shortly after the lady had made those claims. And the school decided to hire a third-party investigator to decide if indeed the coach did violate the school's sexual misconduct policy. The investigator finished the report July 25th and recommended that the school hold a hearing to decide if Coach Tucker had violated any policy. That hearing is scheduled for the first week in October. So take a look at those dates that I gave. I said December to the report by the third-party investigator ending in July. The news is just breaking about it, and the hearing is going to be in October. To me, that's way too slow. If you have conducted an investigation, you've done your fact-finding stuff to make a decision on if somebody violated anything and should, quote unquote, keep their job.
Yeah. I agree with that, and I'm going to say something too, because this is Michigan State. What else happened at Michigan State involving student athletes?
Remind me. Not ringing a
That's
bell.
That's where that Nasser asshole, the one that was
the gymnast doctor. Yes.
Exactly. What the fuck is going on over there at Michigan State that all these damn perverts are all of a sudden showing up doing some sick ass shit like they're on freaking Epstein Island trying to, diddle around with freaking women and everything? What the fuck? How does I'll be straight up honest here. How does the athletic director not lose his job?
Bingo.
Over this?
Mm-hmm.
That's my damn question. This is the second incident. The first one was massively big. All right. This is the second incident in which somebody from your damn college has done something sexually inappropriate after all of this crap that has happened out there, how the hell is this guy not fired? How is this guy not blamed for the culture that is happening over there? Okay. I mean, look, you guys want to talk about old school, and this is the generational type of gap thing with that little pervert from Spain. All right. This is a systematic problem right now that we just have 2 instances of over there at Michigan State. You cannot tell me that that guy deserves to keep his job and the old, kissing bandit over there in Spain has to lose his job, as well as the manager who had nothing to fucking do with the guy kissing the freaking woman.
The coach.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
The coach gets fired because of this shit, but no, don't worry about it because Michigan State's going to be that way. All right, Magic Johnson can't even save that shit. All right, come on now, that ain't no, fucking no, hell to the fuck no is what I am saying right now. So that Michigan State athletic director, he needs to be fucking fired. That's just me, but I digress.
Heath Barlow said the same thing that I'm thinking. It's just the irony of it all. Hey, come and teach these kids about sexual harassment. Also, here's my wiener. Like, how stupid should you be? And let's not gloss over the fact that he was married. Okay, so I'm curious because I wasn't made aware of this story until just now. Now I'm curious. Does his wife stick by him? Does she stick around? If he loses his job or let's say he loses status, is that enough? Does love keep you through that? There's so much that goes into that, man. He can't keep his job. He can't. And chiefly among that is, again, if the type of man I am, if I'm aware that my coach has done this, how am I going to look at my coach when he's trying to get me to do something and he's trying to talk about certain things, integrity and all this other stuff that most coaches do. And then this dude's been, having what he's claiming is consensual interactions with a sexual harassment teacher. It just you can't. I'm looking at my coach and going, yeah, I can't play for you. I can't play for you. It ain't driving. I can't play for you. You're unethical. Why should I do and believe anything that you're trying to get me to do when you're not practicing what you preach?
Man, it doesn't drive whatsoever. It's hypocritical, and I will call it elitist as well because, like I said, this is now a systematic fucking thing. It's something that should not have happened. It sounds. We just talked about Dion, hopefully taking care of this shit with this kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This whole goddamn thing sounds like it's a complete hypocrisy just within that coaching rank right there.
Exactly.
And I don't know if I can actually qualify somebody to be a coach if they have to work that out that way. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be able to work with that either, man.
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit.
Michelle early said, King, I sent you a picture. Please don't show CQ. I have to. Matter of fact, I can't pull it up.
Let's share it.
It'll be difficult. Actually, I might be able to do this, but let me show CQ off screen real quick. He just gave the most disapproving nod. I think I can bring this up. Now's a good time to do it. Now's a good time to do it. But before I do, he said his wife was probably like, man, he's been wagging that thing around for years and I'm not even interested. And Michigan State players are going to hit the transfer portal wide open. That is a fact. All right.
Yep.
Let me see if I can bring this up here. Let me remove source. Get it up in here. And she actually sent me another one that I'm going to display that's relevant to this game, not necessarily against CQ here. But here we go. Yep. I'm able to bring this up. Boom, boom, pow. All right. Listener of the show, Michelle Early, sent this to me. Let me take her information off. Bam. And someone posted a meme about an hour ago and said, this Giants versus Cowboys game is looking real familiar. Yeah, we got to do this to that. We got to get this shared to the sports bar page, as that is awesome. I can't do it from here. I manage a lot of teams. Y'all are seeing, manage a lot of pages. Y'all are seeing my pages. All right. Let me just click share for now. Bam! That is up there.
Damn.
All right.
Damn.
Let's see.
That was, wasn't that Rick Moranis' last movie?
I don't know.
I think Little Giants might have been his last movie, if I'm remembering correctly, because he hasn't had a movie in forever because his wife was sick, and then he just never returned to acting, and everybody's been wondering where the hell Rick Moranis is at. And
is he still alive? I'm actually asking that legitly. Okay.
Yeah, Rick Moranis is still alive. Yeah, it's but yeah, I want to say that I think Little Giants was his last movie because it's yeah, I'm almost definite it is. I'll go on his IMDb page here soon enough, but yeah, God, Rick Moranis, man, that was he was great in Ghostbusters. I always loved him.
Same, absolutely. Now, I do have one other thing that Michelle Early sent that I'm going to post up here as it's relevant to this current Dallas versus Giants game, and this made me smile. Dak Prescott cologne for those nights when you don't want to score.
Obviously, the defense is not wearing that cologne.
Hey.
The offense may be, but the defense is no, they got one offensive touchdown, right?
Tony Pollard.
Okay.
Pollard's touchdown.
All right, so they got one offensive touchdown.
Pollard almost got him another one.
Almost broke that one off.
All right. Hey, Coach, we are actually past time for what I like to do anyway. So, but before we go, all right, there is a question, and then I want to just kind of talk about or give kind of a quick thing about some of the earlier games today, and then obviously talk about the game tomorrow. But David Cunningham said, do you think Daniel Jones was paid too much money too early in his career? My answer is yes. I haven't seen enough there for me to go, yeah, Danny Jones or Danny Dimes is the guy.
The Giants were stuck in a crap situation. It was either shit or get off the pot with Daniel Jones. He did a great year on that one. He was going to end up walking this year, and you don't ever want to go with your quarterback into there without any type of security, especially when it comes to the future of the team. So the Giants were in kind of a tough situation with both Danny Dimes and Saquon coming up onto their time period. Now, they tried to do what was best as far as what they were doing financially, business-wise, to keep that core group together, paying Daniel Jones that contract extension at this time instead of putting the what's it called? It looks like Kadarius Toney again, but putting Daniel Jones and signing him to that contract, and then putting the franchise tag on Saquon made the most sense financially as well as keeping that core group together. So they were in a shit situation. Now we're also basing this off of one game, first game of the season. Yeah, and I get it. It's prime time against an NFC East rival. That said, I don't think they paid him too much money because that's about the going rate for a quarterback now. For crying out loud, Joe Burrow just signed one that even with NFL standards, with how ridiculous the contracts are. Oh, we got a fumble, and well, the Giants still didn't pick it up. But Joe Burrow's averaging $55 million for his salary for this new contract extension. Daniel Jones looks like a bargain compared to that. But on top of that, Daniel Jones is no Joe Burrow. That being said, we're over analyzing based off of one game. Let's see how it goes for the rest of it. And then on top of that, too, let's also be honest. NFL contracts are not worth the paper that they are printed on. You can have an NFL contract where somebody signs a 2-year, $500 million contract, and in the first year, they're making like $1 million, and they're making like the 499 on the second, and it's all non-guaranteed, and they can waive them, and then it will be done. Obviously, cap hits and cap numbers play into factors like that, but give it some time. We're overreacting after one game. Okay?
Okay.
Just saying that. Just saying that. One game. But this is definitely not a good start, and definitely not what the Giants wanted to happen after signing their next franchise quarterback.
All right.
And it's now 32-0.
Yep, I just looked over and saw. So the thing that I want to highlight in the NFL, and then I'll let you get last words. I was surprised that none of the rookie quarterbacks pulled out a win today. The only one that seemed like it might have happened was Anthony Richardson and the Colts against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they didn't win. The Panthers put up 10 points against the Falcons. And who's the other rookie quarterback? Oh, CJ Stroud of the Texans. All field goals in that game, right? So because I'm looking at 25-9.
Yep.
Yep. And it just Stroud surprised me in that he threw it 44 times. Now his completion rate was he was 28 of 44 for 242 with an average of 5.5 yards. Longest pass that was completed was 26. So I did like the fact that they did decide to air it out and open it up and allow him to throw that many times. He didn't have any interceptions. So I think that it was a real positive thing for him. And looking at the Panthers, Bryce Young didn't do enough there that made me go, oh, yeah, that's the future. But also didn't play bad either.
Yeah. I was rather surprised with Richardson. Obviously, with what I thought about after he got drafted and coming up to it, I thought that he was going to be the stinker.
Yes, you did. I didn't want to say it.
No. Now I am going to say this. You got to remember that I don't look at it as far as stats. I always look at it as far as wins and how your team performs in the playoffs. That's the way I view quarterbacks. I don't give a shit about stats, because if that's the case, then Tony Romo would be in the Hall of Fame and not in the CBS booth. That said, I think that the rookies did something that we're not accustomed to anymore. And that is they played like rookies. There's going to be learning. There's going to be learning curves. And let's be honest, going all the way back to, when Roethlisberger, I'll go back 20 years, when Roethlisberger debuted and they went 13-3. They had the bust. They had some veterans on that defense, and that team was carried there, where Roethlisberger just had to manage it. The expectations of these rookie quarterbacks, have been skyrocketing over the past 20 years, but then we always keep forgetting that they're rookies. This is their first time out there. This is their dream. They just made their dream, and they're going to perform like rookies. They're going to overthink. They're going to overanalyze. They're going to do something stupid like Richardson did. He should have slid, and he was out for that last several plays of the game where they could have gone for a touchdown, or, to be honest with you, they should have kicked the field goal and tried for the onside kick. But regardless of that, you ended up they played like rookies, and your people are not accustomed to players playing like rookies anymore. I'm glad that they had that. Brees, I watched the Carolina game all day. And look, Bryce Young, he played like a rookie. He looked a little lost out there. Looked like the speed was a little bit too much for him, but then he got settled down. He did a couple of good things. His defense didn't help him out, but he also didn't help out the offense, and that's where everything kind of comes into it. Carolina didn't do that great out there. C.J. Stroud played like a rookie. I'm not surprised that it was only just field goals that he had. But, like I said, it's a long season, and we're at week 1, and we're basing whether Daniel Jones got overpaid off of a 33-0 blowout in the rain over at East Rutherford, New Jersey right now.
CQ said something, and I think I said it earlier. If I didn't, though, he said, one game doth not a season make. And as a logical person, that's true. Like, look, I can be excited that I whooped up on them in 2 different fantasy football leagues, but the NFL season is indeed a long season. So coming out, putting up a stinker in real life football or losing in fantasy football doesn't mean that you're out of it by one game. That's absolutely true.
Yeah. But one game does make a show, especially when it's the kickoff game for the NFL season.
Yes, it does. But
so
one
let's
game
go ahead.
Does put a smile on this man's face. Absolutely. Before you get into your thoughts about tomorrow's game, because I want you as the Jets fan to close out with this. Here's something interesting. Out of all of the quarterbacks and their quarterback ratings, the lowest this week was obviously Joe Burrow. He had a 58 passing rating. What was that at? Bengals. Here we go. He had a 52.2 quarterback rating. That is absolutely trash. All 3 rookies' ratings were at the average. The average looks to be, quick math, around about 79. And Stroud, Richardson, and the other rookie was right at around that 78 to 79 quarterback rating, as well as most of the rest of the league. Only 3, if I'm doing my math right, were above 100. And leading the pack was Jordan Love of Green Bay, who had a 123.2 quarterback rating this week.
Look, Green Bay, we've all given crap about Jordan Love. I remember the transition from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, okay? I also remember when the quarterback before Brett Favre was playing for the Green Bay Packers, and then Atlanta traded him in the offseason. Green Bay has had a run of good quarterbacks and good quarterback play, but they've also done it smart where that quarterback had some time on the bench to learn. Now, Jordan Love has had a lot of time to learn, and a lot of people question it because the way the quarterback system was and is right now in the NFL is that rookies are supposed to come in and contribute right off the bat. It doesn't surprise me that Jordan Love, on the first week, when given the opportunity, was able to pull that on there because he is a lot more mature than any of the other quarterbacks that were given the opportunity to learn. Let's look at this right now. You have, off of that one draft, Baker Mayfield is now on his 3rd or 4th team. Even though Baker did good with Tampa Bay today, he's now on his 4th team in a matter of 3 or 4 years, okay? Gone are the days that Baker Mayfield is doing State Farm commercials inside Cleveland Stadium.
Yep.
Okay? Jordan Love doing well today does not surprise me. I just don't know whether he's going to keep that up this season. That's going to be in, like I said, you just said one game does not make the man, but it doesn't surprise me that Jordan Love did that well. I want to see him do this for the other season, and maybe by the end of October, whether or not I believe, we'll readdress it around there. But great on Jordan Love. Very bad on Joe Burrow, seeing that he's now the most expensive quarterback that ever played the football game. Supposed to be better, we equate in our stupidity and I'm not saying our stupidity, but in our fandom, we equate how much somebody is getting paid with how good they are. And Tom Brady was never the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Well, he might have been a couple years, but he was also the greatest. There's been times where Peyton Manning, for crying out loud, Peyton Manning was going to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and then the Indianapolis cut him and drafted Drew Luck, and then we see how that ended up with him. He ended up getting Richardson, almost 6 years later. That said, give it some time. You can't equate it that way. Joe Burrow laid an egg. Joe Burrow has about another 3 or 4 weeks to get back before you start scratching your head of whether or not he's worth $55 million a year. Jordan Love finally got his opportunity to step out behind Aaron Rodgers' shadow, because Aaron Rodgers is going to shine his light over in Meadowlands tomorrow. Let him go ahead on that, and we'll readdress these quarterbacks in October, whether or not they're real or whether or not they're fake.
Yeah, that's true. And it's weird just seeing a different quarterback in that Green Bay uniform, because Rodgers went from 22 to 2008. Favre was 07 to 92.
Yep.
And then
years.
if you go back there, you got your Don Makowskis, and I jacked his name up. Your Lynn Dickies and your Bart Stars. Like, they are loyal to their quarterbacks as long as their quarterbacks, aren't trash. So let's see if Jordan Love is able to kind of keep that narrative going, or if Green Bay goes the way of the Cleveland Browns and end up having 18 quarterbacks over 16 seasons.
Oh yeah, I agree, man.
All right, now Coach, I'm going to make you the big screen, give you the floor, and take us through your predictions for tomorrow and close us out.
My prediction tomorrow. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got 4 letters, 3 words for everybody. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow starts my NFL season, because the New York Jets take on the Buffalo Bills. Now, I don't want to hear anybody in Buffalo say, oh, there's only one real football team in New York, and that's up in Buffalo. Motherfuckers, you are in Canada. Don't give me that bullshit, okay? I will say this right now. Even though they play in New Jersey, about 20 minutes away from where I grew up, not a problem there. I will say this. They are one of the New York teams, because they played in Shea Stadium, that absolute dump out there in Queens by LaGuardia Airport. They just happened to move over to Giants Stadium because it was a much better stadium than that trash heap over there in Queens. Anyway, my point is this. We have seen the Jets on Hard Knocks over the past several weeks, and throughout that entire time on Hard Knocks, everybody saw Aaron Rodgers for what he was. He isn't this freaking weed smoking, hippie, ayahuasca drinking, free spirit that only cares about himself. Aaron Rodgers displayed on Hard Knocks the leadership that every veteran, successful quarterback portrays within their team. Now, he's got a fresh crop of young, talented receivers mixed in with people and players that he is comfortable with. Offensive coordinator, all right? Used to be his head coach. He's got Randall Cobb on his team. And for crying out loud, that was a State Farm commercial. That was a State Farm commercial connection. He's got Breece Hall coming back. He, on a bargain, gets Cook right before the start of the season. He's got the offensive rookie of the year in Garrett Wilson. Oh, by the way, where did he go? The Ohio State University. Trademark that. He has the weapons that Green Bay wanted to give him, but never will be able to get it. They're playing in New York. He knows it's a show up or shut up type of thing. He's not going to pull a Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones, even though he's been in the league for 5 years, has not the pedigree of Aaron Rodgers. And then on top of that, I haven't even mentioned the one thing that has got my hopes and dreams up, and that is the defense of the New York Jets. Quinnen Williams, my man Sauce Gardner, the next Revis Island, the next primetime, the premier shutdown corner of the NFL. If I'm not hyped up for this game, then I might be dead. And after this entire damn summer of the New York Yankees playing like shit because Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman both grow vaginas between their legs, I have been looking forward to this game since the NFL draft. I have been looking forward to this game since Zach Wilson put up a dud on Thanksgiving of last year. And yeah, I know the Bills have Josh Allen. The Bills got some great defense. And I'm going to say this too, because, I also picked the Bills defense in my daggone fantasy league, which I also will submit that I put them on the bench this week and started the Panthers because I am that damn confident that this year, in the year 2023, after so much turmoil, 43 years of being on this earth, that finally, after all this disappointment, there is the beacon of hope that Aaron Rodgers is going to bring the Jets to the promised land. The day he signed, he said that Super Bowl III trophy is looking a little lonely. You know what else has been looking lonely, Aaron? Me at the end of every NFL season since I was born. And I don't care. I don't care about how many times the Patriots win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about how many times Patrick Mahomes, does his discount double check and does the Jake from State Farm and wins MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
I just care about one time. One time. Just once. I will leave. I won't be a fanatic anymore. I won't be disgruntled anymore. I will be at peace for the first time in my NFL fandom existence. I've had to see my father and my brothers and my Aunt Mo, God rest her soul, celebrate the New York fucking Giants 4 fucking times in my life. And I know CQ's listening and watching his damn Giants lose 33-0 right now in the pouring rain at the Meadowlands. And I'm never going to call it MetLife Stadium. It will never be MetLife Stadium to me. It's going to be the Meadowlands because you know what? MetLife sucks. But this year, this is the one and only time that I ever say to the football gods, let us have it. Let us do it. You let Tampa Bay win. You let a team whose people in the town are known as tampons win. You have had a struggling base. And yes, we may have sold our soul to the devil by Joe Willie Namath guaranteeing that he was going to beat the Colts in Super Bowl III. But God, you're there. It's been 54 years. You know what else has been 54 years? The Stanley Cup drought of the New York Rangers, which was vanquished in 1994. And you know what? It's going to happen again, because this year, in 2024, in February, I am going to celebrate the New York Jets winning the Super Bowl for the first time since 1969. And then for the rest of my life, I am going to go ahead and just say from now on, with pride, these 4 letters and these 3 words. Bruce Hell.
All right. Hey, Coach, that was fantastic. I do want to acknowledge something that I slipped up on. There was somebody checking in from Panama. I thought it was on YouTube, but it was on Facebook. So to Estella, who checked in from Panama, thank you for tuning in to the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. And I want to give you a salute as well and acknowledge your comment. All right, Coach, that was good. I like the way that you had that ending. We are way past my time because your boy needs to get back to the crib and go to sleep and get ready for the upcoming week. Tomorrow's game.
CQ needs to go to sleep after this game too.
Oh, CQ's been asleep for the last hour and a half. the Giants have been asleep for the last hour and a half. Let me say it that way. Coach, in Aaron Rodgers, you trust? That is a question in the chat.
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify. All right, y'all. This has been another great live stream by Coach and I on WTF Nation Radio. We are the duo known as the actual King Smith and Coach on the Sports Bar. We come to you guys and gals every Sunday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time Zone, but we are not the only ones that are on WTF Nation Radio. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as the Monday night edition led by my man Ice presents itself here on Monday night. Also, if you're not following the Sports Bar Facebook page, we can be found at the Sports Bar USA. We have one reel. It's a baseball reel that we shared that some a different content creator did. Let me just put that out there. That's got about 30,000 views, Coach. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see it.
All right. Yeah, man, I've been seeing those numbers creep up in the comments, and I'm like, hey, people are definitely invested in that story, man. That's dope. So to that, we are going to end the show. Thank you, David Cunningham. Said, great show, King and Coach. As always, WTF Nation, be blessed in all endeavors this week. Absolutely. If you are listening or you are watching on the podcast, be blessed in all of your endeavors this week. Be sure to tune in and check out the other great creators that we have. And CQ, since he let me use his studio, I will hold this up. One game doth a season not make. And he says, go G-Man. I'll say it too. Go G-Man. And Coco, Ravens Nation. We are out. Peace.